Is this thing on? What's my volume? Oh, a little hot maybe. Hold on, turning it down. Boom! Oh, whoa! There I am. Hello, internet viewers. By my reckoning, there are like 30 of you there, so I'll give it a minute to get going. But welcome to No Jars Allowed. The way this works is simple. I have a beverage here. It is very clearly not in a jar. That is a cup-ass cup right there. I'm going to drink it. When the drink's gone, then we will be done answering questions. So you have, as long as it takes me to drink that much fizzy water. Is this thing on? What's my volume? Whoa, wait. Okay, hold on. Close that. Nope, not that one. Oh, yeah, that one. Okay. Oops. Too many tabs. Hope everybody's having a good Friday night. It's iPhone day, so I got the big boy here. Look at that. Oh, there's my kid. But I haven't really spent much time with phones bigger than like 5 inches. So this thing is ridiculous, absolutely insane. I'm not sure if I like it or not yet. Like I don't actively dislike it, but like there's no way I can reach all the way up or all the way down. And I actually find myself using the dumb double tap on the home screen gesture, which I never ever thought I would do. So so there we go. I guess if you have questions, dump them in the chat. I will answer them as best I can. Or, you know, if I can't, then I'll just say, hey, I can't answer that. If you've not done this before, I used to do it all the time in the old days of Whiskey Media. We don't have live streaming on the site anymore, but YouTube live streaming works pretty well now at home. So here we go. I'm going to take the first question. It is from Alex Myers. He says, hey, Will, I just impulse bought a 970. I assume that means a GeForce GTX 970. Is it going to be dope? It's probably going to be dope. Those cards. We haven't actually tested one yet. I think Norm's review unit is coming this week sometime, maybe early next week. We are excited about that. It's been a long time since we've seen new video cards that are at that kind of level. I'm kind of excited about the VR stuff, although I would hesitate real hard. I mean, Norm's at Oculus Connect right now, so they may learn about consumer release. But I would hesitate to buy a video card today for consumer release in the future. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. Who knows? I just hesitate to buy stuff before anything's announced. So it could work out. It could be a complete disaster. I don't know. The card will be really fast. The second part of your question is my i5 2400 really going to hold me back? It might. We won't know that until we get to benchmarks. My hunch is you can go look at benchmarks for GTX 780 Ti's, and if those 780 Ti's are CPU bound, then this is definitely going to be CPU bound. A good quad core, I mean, you probably put a cooler on that thing, overclock the hell out of it, though, if you have the right motherboard. So there we go. Hope that answers your question. See, Crazy Little says, hey, is this 6 Plus uncomfortably large so that its size outweighs its advantages? I've just had mine for about 4 hours now. It's here again. It's shiny and white. I really like it so far. I like the rounded bezels on the bottom. I wasn't sure I'd like that, but it kind of tucks into the crook of your palm real nicely. And I actually find myself using it in the landscape mode much more than I expected. Sorry about the glare there. I'm using this on a crappy webcam instead of you know, the normal cameras we use. So I like I said, it's too early to say. I do have to say I put SwiftKey on my iPhone and iPad. It's an unbelievable keyboard. I dumped it. I connected it to all my Facebook and Evernote and Gmail and all that stuff. So it kind of knows how I type now, and it's already better than the iOS 8 keyboard was, which, you know, isn't really saying that much. But there we are. That's we'll know more about the iPhone 6 Plus. I'm wearing shorts because it's been really hot here. So I haven't even tried to put it in a jeans pocket yet, other than what you saw in that video last week. So I don't know. We'll see. We're up to 125 people. That's awesome. Yeah, Eric Smith says, hey, Blue Snowball, that is a good cheap mic, and I absolutely agree. $50, single USB, if you only need one microphone, it is a bomb microphone for $50. So, William Garcia says, hey, what headset is that? It is an Astro A40. Wait, hold on. I can show you. The thing comes off. See, it says Astro. I play games on my PC. My PC is mainly a gaming platform. I do some video edits and stuff like that, but I don't need perfect sound. And I have actually a pretty nice pair of speakers set up here too. So Yeah, that's what it is. The microphone, the headset on the Astros, somebody else followed up with that. The other headset's pretty good. The microphone's pretty good. The sound quality is good enough for what I do here. Like, I don't need like super high fidelity music headphones for that. I have that in the other room. So yeah, I'm stoked about it. I like it. I've been using these for like 3 or 4 years now, and they've been really good. Crazy Little says IKEA beer glass, nice. It is actually not. It's just a standard imperial pint. I mean, maybe they sell them at IKEA, but somewhere on here it has. I'll show you. See, well, it's not a bullshit American 12-ounce pint. You can't see the little engraving, but up there somewhere. Oh, I'm dripping water now. There it is, right there. Boom, right there. That's it. It says pint. It has a little mark. It means it's legit. Morton Peterson says fizzy water. He says it's vodka, isn't it, Will? No, it is absolutely not vodka. I'm not a vodka drinker. If I was drinking something alcoholic, it would be brown or beer. Am I too hot? Am I too low? People are complaining about volume. William Garcia says, hey, are you going to cover the GTX 980 launch? Norm has a GTX 980 on the way. I don't know if it's here yet. So, Doom Guy 458 says, any specialty sodas you prefer, Will? It's funny you say that. I was in Portland last weekend, and I went to a food truck called Pock Pock, and it was delightful. And they had this stuff called drinking vinegar. The drinking vinegar is awesome. It's like sweet cidery vinegar made of, well, it had a bunch of different flavors. They had like a Thai basil, a peach, a rhubarb one at the truck that day, and they just put club soda, a little bit of the vinegar they put the vinegar at the bottom, put club soda in, you stir it all up, and then you drink it, and it was awesome. It was sweet, it was a little bit tart. It wasn't so sweet as like a soda or something like that. It was really good. I've also made some custom sodas. I have a carbonator in the kitchen. And I've made like fig and balsamic soda before. Basically, when I buy fruit and it rots, as it's getting ready to go bad, I put it on the stove with some sugar and water and cook it until it makes a syrup, and then add that and see how it is. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. I've had lots of horrible experiments. I think the best thing I made was probably like a strawberry basil, where I basically took a strawberry basil lemonade syrup, the kind of thing you make to make pink basil lemonade, dumped that into the carbonated water, and it was awesome. Really, really good. Matthew Ellert says, are you using Swipe now? I'm not using Swipe. I'm actually using SwiftKey, I think, is what I started with. It seemed to get better recommendations from people on the internet who have used Android keyboards. I used SwiftKey back in the day, but I'm thoroughly impressed with SwiftKey so far. So, and I've used Swipe before too. I don't really like the squiggly typing thing, where you go all over the screen to write the letters. I think that's weird. I'm reading. Let's see. Jake Ryan Frank says, what are you reading right now, or what have you loved recently? Right now I'm reading Anvil of Stars by Greg Bear, which I didn't realize was a continuation of a series until I was already pretty far into it. It's pretty good. It's about the setup is that Earth has been wiped out by an unknown alien, and at the last minute, right before they killed the last of humanity, some other aliens came in and saved us. And it kind of plays off on the idea that, right now our technological evolution is a super tiny slice of the spectrum of age of the universe. So should we find aliens, they're either going to be way more advanced than us or way less advanced than us, and it's very unlikely that we would be in a kind of a fair fight. And it plays with a lot of that stuff. It's an interesting book. Stuff I've read recently that I loved. The Martian was amazing. It's a novel by Andy Weir about a guy who gets basically shipwrecked on Mars, and it's really well researched. We talked about it on either this week's or next week's episode of Still Untitled. I can't remember which one. And it's a fascinating book. It's really, really good. Highly recommend it. Let's see, what else do I have? I have The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie queued up, but I haven't read that yet. I had crazy good recommendations from a bunch of friends. Let's see. All You Need Is Kill, Proof. I just reread Crooked Little Vein by Warren Ellis, which is super fucked up and awesome. And then earlier this year, I went back and reread Dune for the first time since I was in high school. It was interesting because it was a completely different take on that book than I remembered having in high school. I totally felt it completely differently. But if I'm recommending stuff right now, The Martian is a slam dunk. The book that what was it called? Live, Die, Repeat. That's not it. Edge of Tomorrow. The book that Edge of Tomorrow is based on is called All You Need Is Kill. It's a translation of a Japanese novel. It's fantastic, really good too. Real page turner kind of thing. Let's see. Gryffindor13 says, "What do you recommend for buying a computer for under $800?" If you're going to do that, I would just build one. For $800, you're going to get a kind of mid-range PC, probably with questionable graphics. Depends on what you want to do. If you're not going to play games, then you don't need to spend money on graphics. If you are, then it's probably worth it. We've done some inexpensive PC builds in the past. Ars Technica also has a pretty good list that's constantly updated. And I think they have one right in that price range. So that's what I would look. And at this point, putting a PC together is pretty straightforward. It's kind of like Lego. You just have to not force anything and be able to install Windows. Crazy Little says, "Hey, I'm also planning to fly to Japan. Thinking upgrading to the iPhone 6 could cause issues with international roaming. That is literally something I know absolutely nothing about. So if anybody in the chat knows, please answer. And if you're just joining, this is No Jars Allowed. This is a thing that I used to do all the time, and I'm going to start back up again, where I get into a YouTube live stream or some sort of video chat, and you guys ask questions, and I answer them in the dumbest way possible. Or sometimes the smartest way possible, I guess. It's all good. So yeah, just post your questions in the comments on YouTube. Our tested chat's down. We usually do that over there, but something's jacked up on the server, so we'll fix that and do it there next time. Josh Bukinski says, "In the world of paper and or cardboard, what's been hot in the tested office since the Porco Rosso build?" I haven't done any... Well, that's not true. We've started learning how to use... Norm specifically started learning how to use Adam's laser cutter. And he has been cutting stuff left and right. So at some point in the not too distant future, we'll probably have a video for that. Probably do some projects and stuff like that. Jeff G says, "Hey, Octobercast 2014 plans? ? Gary ? We don't have anything on Octobercast to announce right now. Gary is tied up with Star Wars stuff for the foreseeable future. However, we do have something to announce very, very soon. Probably even as early as like Monday if you're a tested premium member, or Wednesday if you're not, and it will be a great big live event. So it's not going to be Octobercast. It'll be something a little bit different. I think you guys will be excited about it, but we'll have more to talk about that on Monday. Looks like I'm running out of questions here, so get your questions in if you have them. Christopher Washington says, "Typing your name makes my Chrome crash." That's super weird. Let's see. Titan Slayer says, "What do you like better, Note 4 or iPhone 6 Plus?" I've only had the iPhone 6 Plus for about 4 or 5 hours now so far, and I have had no time at all with the Note 4, so can't say that. No idea. Burnt Bacon X says, "What car do you drive? ! Man, you are in need of an interrobang. The interrobang is my all-time favorite dumb punctuation." Do you guys know what an interrobang is? I hope so. I hope not, because I'm going to tell you anyway. The interrobang... Hold on, first a beverage. The interrobang, I think, was envisioned in the 70s as, "Hey, I have a question, but I'm excited about it. I need to ask a question in an excited way." And they came up with this new kind of punctuation for it. And it's literally like a question mark with an exclamation point jammed through the top and bottom of it. And it's super silly. So you needed an interrobang for that question. The answer to your question is the most mundane answer I could give. I drive a Ford Escape. I have a kid. I live in a big city. I need a small car that I can put a car seat in without having to bend over to drop the kid in the seat. So there you go. Ford Escape. It's white. It has a tested sticker on the back. Justin Dyke says, "Do you mind the plastic lines on the back of the iPhone 6? So you can see them. Whoop, iris. See, they're all around the edge. I assume that's what makes the radio work, because you need radio to see through stuff. I don't know, man. I don't find them objectionable on the silver one. On the black phone, I thought they stood out a little bit. I haven't spent enough time with my wife's phone. She got a black, just plain 6. So I'll take a look at that and see what I think later. I think it's pretty good. I bought the 64 gig plus in white, and I'm on Verizon. So we'll be testing more. I don't have any kind of feelings about it right now. Like that I'm like we don't do quick reviews, because like it's a really complex thing, and I'm not going to really know how I feel about this thing until I've used it for a couple of weeks. Or put another way, my feelings for the device, how I feel about the devices, are going to change dramatically. We found over the first 2 or 3 weeks that you use something like this. So we may do a quick video early next week that just kind of shows how it works and stuff like that. But most likely we're not going to do any kind of in-depth for at least a few weeks. The OS, since I've been using the OS for a few months, I'm pretty comfortable with that side of it, and there's no surprises about how the software works. I need to set up the Apple Pay stuff. I haven't done that yet, and go see if I can buy groceries at Safeway, and then kind of just carry it and live with it, and go on some good walks, take some pictures, all that kind of stuff. So there you go. Jonathan Fennell says, "Hey Will, have you guys tested any kind of 3D scanning or laser etching?" I have a 3D scanner right there on my desk, right there, but it's super messy, so I'm not going to show you. I have. Hold on. This guy right here. Does he look familiar? Totoro, 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 Totoro. It is a Totoro statue that was either at Norm's house or maybe at Adam's house, and while Norm was house sitting, while I was in Australia, and he scanned it with the 3D scanner that's under my desk, and then I printed it using the printer that's right here. So we kind of faxed a thing to each other. The quality on it came out pretty well. It's a Totoro, so it's kind of smooth and flat, so it's difficult to say, like that it had phenomenal resolution or anything like that. But it works, and it looks pretty good, so we'll do more of that soon. Uh-oh, I lost comment loading due to high volume. Hold on, I've lost my spot in the comments. I'm going back up. Hey, Jake Lee says, are you going to do any more one-day builds? The answer is yes. We have some stuff scheduled. We started one the other day. It actually is going to end up being probably a 2-day build, because we had to take a break in the middle for some phone calls and stuff. But yes, we will be doing more one-day builds. One-day builds are a thing that we will keep doing as long as we keep doing the site. So, the Go Venture says, "Hey Will, love the show. My question is this: what about Windows Phone? I know you've tested in the past, but I haven't seen any Windows Phone untested recently." Yeah, like nobody buys them, so there's not a whole lot of we have limited bandwidth to test stuff. We have to pick stuff that we think is going to be appeal to the broadest audience possible, and sorry, Windows Phone. Luigi Velazza says, "Norm, do you think we will see a swarm of 4K Android phones next year?" Norm is not here. I'm Will from Tested. Probably 4K Android phones, cameras on them for sure. They're going to load those things up with that. They love big numbers on the Android side. Kind of doesn't matter, but big numbers. William Garcia says, "What are you playing a lot of right now?" I started playing Destiny the other day, and kind of am into that right now. It's not perfect. I played a ton of Diablo on the PS4, which I didn't think I would do, but got kind of into that. It's quite fun. And I really like the active controls on it. So, when you play with the mouse and keyboard and stuff, you kind of just click to go where you want. But with the 2 sticks, you steer, and you can kind of roll away from when you get into trouble and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more of an active game, which appeals to me in a way that kind of the mouse and keyboard didn't. So I initially switched over to that for the Lord of Souls, or whatever it's called, LOS expansion. And because I didn't want to jack up my wrist clicking like a madman. I don't know about you guys, but when I played Diablo, I'm not able to just press and hold to fire stuff indefinitely. I tap, 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 and then my finger hurts, and then my wrist hurts, and then I have trouble typing, which is bad. So yeah, Diablo, Destiny. I've been playing a lot of Lords of Waterdeep on the iPad. Let's see what else I have on the iPad. I played a cool iOS game called Escape, I think. Is that right? I'm almost there. Sorry. This is a great video. I think it's called Escape. All my icons got jacked up when I upgraded to iOS 8. I might not be on this... Oh, desert golfing. Alone and desert golfing. Good God, desert golfing is really good too. It's like $3. It's infinite golf in the desert. Like you don't play 18 holes. You play them forever and ever and ever. Jacob Blue says, hey, can we have a video of your desk in its final home? Yes. When I finish the finishing, I still haven't gotten the legs powder coated. I still haven't finished the top. I haven't basically touched it since that last video. So I've got to do that. I've got to set up monitor mounts for the walls. So I get that stuff kind of hanging. And then, yes, we'll do another video showing the desk in its final home. Suthwat Swanarat says, who's standing behind you? No one is standing behind me. Nice try. Morton Peterson says, as someone who's not named Will Smith and as a person who also doesn't know Gary Whitta, should I just go out and buy an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus now, or is sticking with the 5S? Just wait. There's nothing. You don't lose anything by waiting 2 weeks to get a new iPhone. Find out if they let dummies like me and Gary find out if there's some sort of horrible problem with them, and then then go out and buy it if everything's cool. Max Schrogen says, what camera do you use to record your videos? Right now, I'm using a Logitech C615. I think it's an old but decent webcam. Oh, wait, here we go. I can tell you. What? Nope, not that one. What? Oh, wait, it's over here. I'm using OBS to stream this, which makes things a lot easier. Yeah, it's a Logitech HD C615. It's my go-to standby for decent low light webcams, and it looks okay. It's not bad. You can see all the horrible flaws in my face and the mess in my room. That is a delicious fizzy water. My wife and I are trying to cut out colas before my daughter is old enough to realize that she wants colas because she sees us drinking them. So we're switching to iced tea and iced coffee and then just carbonated water. And sometimes it's cool, but like 9 o'clock on Friday night when I want to stay up for a little bit, kind of wish I had a Coke. Oh wait, there's Cokes in there still because we're bad at this. The Pork says, Will, do you know that you and Bob Saget have similar voices? I have actually never heard that before. Guys, do you think I sound like Bob Saget? Yes or no? Max Trogan also asked about other videos. We have a couple of different video cameras. We have a Blackmagic Mini Pocket Cinema Cam that Joey uses sometimes. We've used Adam's FS700, which is a really awesome 4K, badass Sony 4K camera. We have these Panasonic 720p cameras that are really old, and I don't know what model they are. That's pretty much it. I lost my place again. I'm going back up. I'm going back up. Still going up. Somebody else asked me about the Azure A40s. I'm going to tell you, if you're just joining this, this is No Jars Allowed. The way this works, I have a glass cup even filled with water. I drink it and answer questions. When the water runs empty, I stop answering questions, and that is the end of the show. We've been going for like 30 minutes-ish now, I guess. I don't know. I can't even tell. I don't think I can tell anywhere. I'm still scrolling up looking for questions. Holy cow. Okay. There are a lot of questions here. Antenados says, how in the world did you lose so much weight so fast? I don't think I really have lost very much weight. It took me a long time to get from 250 to like 220 or 215. And then I stalled for a year, so we'll see. We'll keep working on that. A lot of times we shoot videos way in advance of when they actually show up on the site. So sometimes I'll, if like I had a good heavy, if I bought ice cream a couple of grocery store trips in the row, then I might be pudgier for one than the other. Curtis Beef says, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I grew up on a horse farm. I'm pretty sure I can handle 100 duck-sized horses. Horses are the biggest pussies in the world. Anything breaks them. They are, the old Far Side cartoon about the horse book of medicine, where the answer to every malady is just shoot them. Pretty much right. Curtis asked a question. I don't know what the real question was. Somebody broke their arm. People like the way my voice makes their subwoofer go. We're not going to review the Moto 360 Jericho Manalang. We are going to review the Moto X. Norm has one that he ordered the other day. Max Strogan says, what 3D printing program do you use? You kind of end up using all of them because they're all janky in some important way. I use Cura, Slicer, Repetier, all sorts of different stuff. Igor Semeniak says, how much can I buy a good 3D printer for? That's really easy. You can get a printer bot for like $530 if you assemble it yourself, or $600 if you build it, have them build it for you. It's a metal frame, and it's a really, from what I've seen from the last month of using it, it is a fabulous little printer. And it'll print 6x6x6. That's what I printed Totoro here on. And also, let's see, what else can I show you? Do I have other stuff here? Reaching. Well, hold on, I'll be right back. I also printed this guy. So this was printed all in one piece, and he has arms and stuff that move, arms and legs. It's basically the big version of the thing that Jeremy brought to the podcast a few weeks ago. And he just kind of flaps. I printed like little bracelets and all sorts of stuff. It's pretty good resolution. The software is a little bit tricky, but I feel like I'm finally dialing that in now. And it's really good. So yeah. John Moore says, so the big Microsoft buying Mojang / Minecraft, you think their first big step is putting it on the Microsoft Store? It wouldn't surprise me. I think the first thing they're going to do is probably set up dedicated servers like the Realms for the console versions, because I think that's a way that they can make a ton of money real fast. And they said that they were going to try to recoup that. They thought they could recoup the $2 million investment in just a couple of years. So I think that's probably a good place to go. What kind of plant is in that in the background? Asked Jake Nelson. It is a really profoundly unhealthy, like, rubber tree plant, I think. I don't know. We've had it for a long time. I always forget to water it because it's in here, and it's usually dark in here. So it's probably not the best plant. Not a great place for a plant. It's kind of sad. Should probably get a better plant. Lucifer Helidon says, what is your favorite Fallout game? Oh man, Fallout Tactics is real good, but I got to go with Fallout 3 because that game is the bomb. It has the best DLC. I think probably Saints Row 4 had pretty good DLC. Wait, no, that's not right. BioShock 2 had pretty good DLC. Mass Effect had great DLC. Oh, Enslaved had the best DLC of all time. The where you got to play as the other character, the pig guy. But anyway, the upshot is Fallout 3 for sure. Baz Doppelganger says, when is the next Men in Black movie coming out, and will you be starring in it again? I don't know. No one has talked to my people yet. Liar Quaz says, do you have the iPhone 6 yet? Yes. That's it right there. It's the Plus, not the other one. Aaron Smith says, you know that today is International Talk Like a Pirate Day. You should be talking like a pirate to mix it up. Yar. I should. Use the Booty says, are there any specific brands to look for when looking for SSDs? I'm looking into upgrading from a 1 terabyte hard drive, but I'm unsure of which brand to go for. The secret of SSDs is to go with a reputable brand. Don't buy the cheap one. Even if, like, it's... Okay. If you're buying an SSD that plugs into a SATA port, the difference between the fastest and the slowest is like nothing. It's like that much, right? So you want to buy the one that's the most reliable because you're going to put all of the shit that you care about on there, and if it dies, guess what? You're going to be super duper sad. So Samsung, Corsair, look for people who do reviews. And Antuck does great reviews. Wirecutter has a great aggregation of reviews. I think Wirecutter was recommending the Samsung 840 series last time I looked. Don't buy cheap off-brand SSDs to save $50 because you will end up paying for it in data recovery or just plain sadness. So there you go. PHS Swimmer 2005 says, hey, have you ever used a water jet cutter? Not personally, but I have been around them when they are being used, and they are awesome. Jacob Blue says, can we see the desk you made? No, because it's in the garage. It still needs finishing. I haven't done anything, as we previously talked about. Falco Eagle said, did you guys ever reset premium memberships, or will they still be paid on the original purchase date? We are going to, I think, I can't remember where we ended up with this. It's happening. I don't have a time for that to happen yet. They should renew basically in June instead of November is, I think, the upshot. There's some weird math for other people, but we're giving everybody who bought on, I think we're resetting start dates to June 1st is what's happening. So if you bought a membership before June 1st, 2014, I think you get a new, I think the new initial sign up day isn't the day that you actually sign up. It'll be June 1st, 2014. So Symmetry Tutorial says, love the Snowball. It's a really good mic. Robotic Technician is asking me a question about butter that I don't understand. I assume that's a meme. Matthew Alert says, are you doing any form of review for the Moto X 2nd Gen? Norm just ordered one the other day. Lucifer Holoden was going to get an interrobang tattoo, but with a question mark instead. That is fucking awesome. You are an incredible nerd, sir. Jesus Freak 34988 says, what is something you would die to be able to test that's reasonable, a dream thing to test? Any kind of like rocket going to space, that would be cool. Bugatti Veyron. I mean, I'm not even much of a car guy, but that sounds dope. I would drive that thing. Something that does like 5 gallons of gas a second or whatever it is. You run the whole tank out in a minute. Why not? Let's drive that thing. Other than that, I mean, I'm old enough to not be too excitable about consumer products, but yeah, that car is pretty crazy. Tad She says, I'm a month-to-month premium member. Will I have an opportunity to buy the Atom Mecha glove print? Yes. We're going to send an email out to all current premium members. Whether you've gotten the poster or not, you'll have an opportunity to buy one. If you didn't have one before, if you didn't get one when you signed up, and if you got one when you signed up and want to get another one, you'll probably even be able to do that. Nick Currila says, do you watch any anime? If so, which ones? I don't have a lot of time to watch TV these days. I have an 18-month-old kid, a 19-month-old kid now, and I like to play video games still, so I have to kind of pick and choose what I do. I watched some Cowboy Bebop back in the day. It was fine. I'm okay with that. I've watched a lot of anime movies. I love, obviously I love Studio Ghibli stuff, and like I was into Akira at one point in my life. All that stuff. It's all good. Justin Pinard says, how do you feel about the protruding camera? I have not developed feelings about the iPhone 6's protruding camera yet. Look, hold on. Oh, no protrusion. Oh, wait, there it is. It just barely sticks out. It seems like they should have put a case on this thing by default. Broken Fronthead says, what's up, Will? Do you listen to Howard Stern? I used to when it was on the radio and free, and then I don't have Sirius in my car, so, and I don't really pay for radio, so no Sirius and no Stern for me. Chris Vuex says, what do you think about the Suicide Squad and Deadpool movie being announced? I didn't know that was announced. They can't do worse than they did in that X-Men Origins Wolverine movie with Deadpool. Hold on. Beverage. That is a tasty beverage. Christopher Washington says, Will, when I type your name, my Google Chrome crashes. I live in San Francisco as well. I assume you live in San Francisco, or at least in the Bay Area. What is your favorite restaurant here? Man, that is an impossible question to answer. There are so many good restaurants here. I love Ken Ken Ramen. Like I like different restaurants for different foods, right? Ken Ken Ramen in the Mission's great. I mean, basically, there's a ton of great food in the Mission right now. Tacolicious is terrific. It's kind of expensive for a taqueria. I love a good taco, either El Farolito or La Taqueria or one of those places. Serpentine over in Dog Patch is really good. They have an awesome burger. There's a new place right by our office called the Blueprint Tap Room that has a rad beer list, including like sours and weird stuff you don't usually see. And they also make a good burger. But the thing to get there is the fried chicken thigh sandwich. It's all dark meat chicken with like a sriracha aioli, and it's really good. What else, man? I mean, it's kind of all good. I haven't had sushi in a long time because we couldn't have it when my wife was pregnant, and now it's just a pain in the ass because the kid would get food everywhere. I used to love a couple sushi places, but I haven't been there in long enough. I wouldn't probably recommend them. Noriega Pizza, way out in the Sunset, is a great underrated pizza place. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to get to on public transit, but it's really good. I mean, that's a pretty good list, right? Let's see. FlyJF says, are you wearing Astro A50s or A40s, and do you have any gripes with them? I really like the A40s a lot. I'm not such a fan of the A50s. The ones, at least the ones that I tested, had a kind of noticeable hum that I really don't like. And because the controls for volume are on the side of the headset, you can't actually pick them up. Like you can't tell exactly where you are, even if you look, like with volume. So you end up having horrible mistakes, like putting the headphones on and deafening yourself and stuff like that. But the A40s are great for games. They're not, they're not like studio quality monitors or great music listening headphones, but they're fine all around for computer, I think. They're a little overpriced is my main gripe, I think. Oh right, Apple Pay doesn't work until October. Wow, I'm way back in the chat. Have you ever been asked to, or have you ever been on Mythbusters? We've gone to see shooting a couple of times. We work for a different company than Mythbusters. So, we're kind of, it's like silos, right? So, like, our stuff is over here and their stuff is over there. And we don't kind of know what's going on there, and they don't know what's going on. I don't think they care what's going on here, except for Adam and Jamie, of course. But when we went out to watch, I think it's aired now, so I can talk about it. We went out to watch the episode where they blew up the still in the shed to see if the shed would fly last time, and that was awesome. It was really loud. It exploded much faster than anyone expected to, and we had to hang out in a bunker because we aren't insured the same way as everyone else. So we had to hang out in a bunker like a quarter of a mile from the detonation site at the bomb range. So that was awesome. It was really cool. I think we'll probably go out again next time they shoot. Probably if there's a couple of things coming up I'd like to see. Gummy Worm says, "Yo, do you guys have a 3D printer?" Yes, we have several 3D printers, and we use one every Friday to. Oh, Symmetry Tutorial says the exact same thing. Yes, yeah, we do MakerBot Mystery Object every Friday, where you can watch us print something silly. And I just ordered a whole bunch of new plastics. So we have some different colors and stuff too, so that'll be fun. I am scrolling down the questions. I guess now that there's 411 people watching, that makes this a show about information. It's an old joke that nobody under the age of 30 will understand. Rain says, Will, any chance you will do long-distance computer building assistance? Vinny Caravella at Giant Bomb seems to need it. Yes, he does. I saw him putting a CPU in a socket today that in a way that made me weep. I can't believe that thing will actually work in the future. Gummy Worm says, Will, what's the reason for you having a Mac? All caps. I usually don't answer all caps questions, but I'll make an exception. I have a Mac for work stuff. I use a PC to play games on. I have impulse control problems. Keeping games away from the Mac and work away from the PC helps me relax in my off time and work more in my work time. So that's it. We're going to do a computer build soon. I don't have an ETA on that exactly, but yeah, we'll do one soon. Let's see. I will not be seeing Fish in October when they hit the West Coast. Mulesicus. I don't play FIFA. For the 30 people who asked 10 minutes ago. Chai Yang says, will you be participating in No Shave November? Yeah. Scrolling down. Whoop. Sean Cullen says, will OBS on OS 10 doesn't let me capture sound. Are you on OS 10? No, I'm on Windows right now. I use both. I'm equal opportunity. I like Mac laptops, so that's the other reason. I think Apple's making the better, maybe not spec-wise, but in terms of construction and trackpad hardware on the market right now. So Lenovo's makes good laptops too, but you know, Mac trackpads. Also, they seem to be a little friendlier for web environment stuff, like getting tools to connect to S3 and IRC, good IRC clients and all that stuff is a little bit easier and or cheaper. Kabudity says, what do you think would be the most gratifying way to get rid of a very bad phone you've been stuck with for 2 years? I gotta imagine a punt would feel pretty good. Depending on how bad it was, you could give it to charity. That would be cool, because I know there's a lot of charities that give phones to people who don't have phones. I don't know, man. Oslander88 says, would you think it's cool to have your likeness in a video game? My likeness has been in a couple of video games. But yeah, that's always awesome. I think, I don't know if it actually stayed, but at one point there was a build of Connect Theater, which previously had a much better name, Double Fine Happy Action Theater, that had my face in it in a kind of inappropriate way. So yeah, there you go. NPEC93 asks, why do you have a nice mic at home? This is actually a Blue Snowball. It's a nice mic, but it's not an expensive mic. The boom arm actually cost more than the mic did. And I stream Spelunky, or I used to. I've stopped kind of playing recently, so I should get back to that. It was fun. Or maybe I should just stream something else. I'm scrolling down the list. I'm running a little low on beverages, so if you have your questions, you better get them in. Let's see. No More Maybe says, will you guys ever test / feature cannabis products? If things become more legal, maybe. I don't know. I think we have corporate lawyers now, so they would probably not want us to do that kind of stuff. And also, Adam and Jamie have a fairly large, contingent among the youth of America. So I don't think probably, but I mean, who knows? 10 years from now could be a long time. Rain asks, can you trim and make your beard pretty in No Shave November? Let's see, last November I ended up looking like a kind of mountain man and had to shave it almost immediately. Well, no, last November I let it grow. The year before my daughter was born, I got an enormous beard. If you want to see the most awesome beard I've ever had, look up the Tracy Desjardins making an omelet video on the Tested channel. It is unbelievable beard. It's maximum beard. I looked at that video. I was like, man, I'm more beard than man. Matthew Decker says, is that plant behind you real? Yes, it is. There's a lamp behind it too, so it's a backlit plant. I can turn the lamp off if you want. You want to see some future shit happen here? Hold on, watch this. I hit the wrong button. There we go. Boom, the light's off. Now the light's back on. Now the light's off. It looks much better with the light off, doesn't it? I thought that light helped. I can also get crazy with the light up there. You guys want to see some banana stuff? Let's see. This is some amazing, really wonderful content I'm making for you guys here. I know. Oops. I did it backwards. Now it's going to start again. Okay, I'm looking for some more questions. Nexus 6 coming this year? I don't know. Maybe. GTX 980 versus GTX 780 Ti says Anand Vardaham. I think probably if you have a 780 Ti, like every third generation on video cards is the right way to go. You don't want to get too crazy there. Oh, look, I blued it up. Now I can cool it down a little bit. Oh, yeah. Beachin. I don't know if you guys can see any of this. getting real blue. I could just be adjusting that. There we go. This is real silly. This is the energized one. Some of these settings are like, I don't know why anybody would want to light that blue and horrible in their house. Let's see what Greece looks like. I don't know about this. Feet up. I think they're just taking pictures and pulling colors from them. Concentrate. Concentrate all fire on the forward batteries. That's too dark. Bringing it back up a little bit more. Now the exposure on my webcam's all jacked up. This is going to look terrible. I apologize. It's terrible content. I'm going to scroll down, hit the last few questions. I'm almost out of beverage, so it's almost time for the exciting conclusion of No Jars Allowed. Mila Bergi says, will you be making more videos with NASA? We would love to. We need to... we just need some stuff to do. We need an excuse. So if you have ideas for stuff you would like to see us do at NASA, send them in, and we will see if we can do them. I've already done the duck and horse question. Nick Joslin says, do you think Oculus Rift will continue to become more popular, or will it be confined to a gaming niche and fail to make the jump to mainstream? That really depends on hardware. Like in the current scheme, it's normal people aren't ever going to do that. I think if we can get down to something that's more like a pair of glasses with like shades or something like that, then yeah, I think it'll totally be a thing. I think that's really cool. Let's see. People are asking about lamps. Who's asking about a gaming YouTube channel? Do you have a gaming YouTube channel? If not, you should make it. If so, what is it? My YouTube channel is, I think, Not That Will Smith. You can subscribe now. I play games there, some. I used to do Twitch stuff. I think I like YouTube streaming better. I think people like me on YouTube better than on Twitch, so might as well do it there than here. Snipe You Fast 93 says, do you really like the food that NASA made? Yeah, the food was interesting. We did a lot of testing. We tasted a ton of different stuff, and it was like I've done a fair amount of backpacking and camping and eaten, you know, everything from like Army MREs to crazy survivalist stuff to like normal backpackers pantry stuff. And the NASA food was surprisingly good. I thought like a lot of times when you eat that stuff that's been either retort packaged or freeze dried, then the consistency gets weird, or you lose flavor, or it's way too salty, or something like that. And like it was clear that the folks making food at Johnson and at Texas A&M really were concerned about getting stuff that was both healthy and tasty for the astronauts on the space station. And I'm pretty sure we talked about it on camera, but we might not have. They've been doing this for 40 years now. They've been sending astronauts to space for 40 years, and they've been sending people to space for a long time, for almost 20. And one of the things that they learned really quickly is that the better the food is, the more work they get out of people, and the better morale is. Switch that around. The better the food is, the better morale is, and as a result, the more efficient people are when they work and the more work they do. So, you know, it's not like if you're on the space station, you can make a sudden last-minute decision on Friday night to order pizza. You know, you have to. The food that you bring up with you is what you have, plus some vegetables that come up occasionally. So, it's pretty exciting. That was super exciting, that visit. It was one of the, like, I will remember that forever. Michael Brunell says, what's the best craft brewery in the Bay Area? Is it worth visiting? That's an impossible question to answer. There's a ton of places that make unbelievable beer. Russian River up in Santa Rosa is probably the most famous, although at this point on a weekend it takes an hour to get into that place on a good day, so I don't think I'd ever advocate that. 21st Amendment is a small brew pub in San Francisco that makes and cans beer that's distributed, I think, all up and down the West Coast now, and it's awesome too. They don't really do tours that I'm aware of. The Anchor Steam Tour, which I've never been on, everyone says is unbelievable. It's only during the weekdays, so you can't do that on a weekend. I just like drinking beer. One of my favorite places to go and drink a beer is Magnolia's Brew Pub, which is on Masonic and Haight, down by Haight-Ashbury. And that place, those guys make unbelievable beer. Their Bluebell Bitter is one of my all-time favorite beers, and has been consistently good for like 10 years now. I'm going up Joshua Wenzel says, is having an expensive mouse for gaming important? You know, to a certain point, yes. Beyond that, no. I like having a mouse with adjustable DPI just so I don't have to keep changing the sensitivity on different games. So I adjust it on the mouse rather than dicking around with settings. I don't think like $50 seems like a reasonable amount of money to spend on a gaming mouse. I wouldn't go much more than that. You just want a better mouse than the shitty one that comes with your bad computer. You know, you don't like you want a certain amount of updates per second, and you want a certain DPI. Once you get beyond say 3,000 or 4,000 DPI, I don't think most people can tell a difference. And Alexander Schlickenmeyer says, hey, should I get another 760 or sell the one I have and get a 970? You're talking about video cards. It's always better to have one big video card than two small ones. That said, the 760 is one generation old. Unless you're seeing frame rate problems right now, then don't buy a new video card. You're good. Wait until in 12 to 18 months there will be another revision of the 970. It'll be faster, better, smaller, less power consumption, all that stuff. So it's going to cost the same thing then that it does now. You might as well wait if you don't need it right now. Don Farthing says, I live in SF. Does Adam ever do an open house to check out his awesome toys? I assume you're talking about the shop. We've talked about doing some kind of event there for premium members or something, or to raise money for charity or something like that. Keep an eye on the site. We'll announce that if we decide to do it and can figure out how to make it work. It's tough. Because it's a small, it's tough for a lot of reasons. It's a very small shop, so we don't actually have that much room. So you can only get maybe a couple of dozen people in there at the outside, and there's also a lot of really expensive and kind of one-of-a-kind priceless stuff in there. So we can't open it to the general public. You can't open it to the general public, but maybe I have a mosquito on my leg. Maybe something in the future. So. MWT Bone says, what do you think about Gruber's claim that iPads and iPhones are egalitarian devices? It's an interesting idea. So what he said basically is that the nice thing about the iPhone and the iPad is that while there are differences in the prices between say a 16 gig model and a 64 128 gig model, for all intents and purposes, the thing you buy, like, if I'm a billionaire, the best iPad I can buy is roughly equivalent to the iPad that I can buy, not a billionaire. He kind of misses the mark a little bit because I don't think he lives in a world anymore where he can't afford a new phone every year, which I know is an incredible extravagance for most people and would be for me if I wasn't getting work to pay for them. I think he's right, though. I mean, the context of this was that the watch next year is going to start at $350 and probably go up to several $1,000s for the gold versions. And I mean, I think he's absolutely right. It's a completely different market for them, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the reaction is. I don't think the watch is particularly attractive. I think it's a real uggo watch. So, we'll see. It better be pretty amazing. Let's see. Cakeless Coder says Pi B Plus opinions. I haven't actually spent any time with the Raspberry Pi B Plus, mainly because the stuff that I use Raspberry Pis for doesn't work on it. So, there we go. Dervente says, coffee, how do you brew at home? I use the version 3.0 Able Brewing Cone in either a Chemex or an Able Brewing system thing. We did a video about it on the site ages ago. And then I have a Bonavita pour-over kettle and a Baratza Vario E, maybe? Not the weight one, the time one that I use to grind. It's great. I make really good coffee at home. Josh the NES Nerd 11 says, do you make replicas in as much detail as Adam's replicas? I'm kind of not a replica guy. I like to build functional stuff, so I don't build a whole lot of aesthetic stuff. Although there are a few props that I think are kind of exciting and interesting. Cap 10323 says, why is there a MacBook Pro sitting behind you underneath a box? That is my old MacBook Pro. It's a 2010 or 2009 model, and it is very slow and doesn't have a hard drive in it anymore because the hard drive died. I use an Air now. Treehouse17 says, how are your welding skills coming along? Pretty good. I was over at Adam's shop practicing the other day, and I think more practice is better. So... Vlad Renis says, wow, Will looks like he is very, very tired. I'm actually not. I'm just getting totally blown out because I have two monitors on over here. Let me turn one off. That's much better. Now I just look pink. I'm going to have one more sip. I think I'm caught up with chat again, but maybe not. Alberto Noyes says, do you think you'll be able to commercially go into space in your lifetime? I don't know if I'll be able to commercially go into space, but I know that people will commercially be able to pay to go into space. I don't know if they'll go into orbit. I like, for me, I like the stuff that SpaceX is doing with the suborbital flights is kind of interesting, but I'm not interested in 200 grand for 5 minutes of zero G. I want to go into orbit and fly around for an hour or two before I come back down. So let's see. Will D. Rick says, I would love to see some Steambox tested reviews. Could that happen sometimes? We've done some SteamOS stuff. I haven't looked at. I need to plug that in and update it. I don't have a whole lot of interest in the bought and sold Steam boxes, just because the Intel NUC boxes and those Gigabyte Bricks Pro boxes are so easy to put together and put SteamOS on. I don't think there's any reason to pay somebody to put one of those things together for you. Stephen Blue says, Will, what is the delay on this live stream? That question is old. I'm going to get the very bottom question. It is, why are phone plans so expensive, by Michael Diaz. It's 9:44 p.m. right now. Alessandro Cesari says, why didn't you choose to pursue a medical profession after college? I didn't. I went and worked for a doctor, and it seemed like a really, I didn't have the right motivation to do that coming out of college. I didn't want to go back to school for another 10 years, and I wanted to be in a position where I could be with my kid when I had kids. I didn't realize it was going to take me 15 years to have a kid. But, you know, I work at home 2 days a week. I get to spend a lot of time with my daughter. And the doctors that I worked for had, I think, were 8 years younger than I am now, and they were working 36 hours, 2 36-hour shifts a week on call plus normal office hours. And I think that one of the doctors said he tucked his kid in maybe once or twice a week if he was lucky, and that's not okay with me. So I didn't have the right motivation for it. It wasn't good. Doug Eberline says, Will, I'm curious, since you mentioned it before, how does Tested use S3? What do you use to access your buckets? We use Amazon's cloud hosting, cloud services to host all of Tested. Load balancers, web front ends are on EC2. We have some stuff on one of their database servers. We have like big files like images and videos and premium videos and podcasts are stored on S3. And I usually use either Transmit or CyberDuck, depending on whether I'm on the PC or the Mac, to access the S3 buckets. I think I'm about done. I got one more sip here. Big Bear 16 says, have you ever tried a poutine? Yes, poutine is awesome. If you ever go someplace that you can eat poutine, you should absolutely eat poutine. I'll do a couple more bonus questions. 14 Cool Hand Luke says, do you speak any languages other than English? I took 4 years of Latin in high school. That's good for vocabulary. I took an intensive summer of French in college, of which I remember very, very little. And I did American Sign Language for a couple of semesters because I thought that was an interesting way to communicate. But I am not proficient in anything but English at this point because I don't practice anything. Freakies says, hey, I'm almost out of beer and going to bed. Can I get a shout out? Shout out to Freakies. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go play some Destiny. We will see you all on the next No Jars. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.